Good morning, top of the morning to you, and the best for the rest of the day. Today we're going to talk about talent. We're going to talk about motivation, how it's so much more important than just talent. And all of us would like to have talent in everything that we do. Certainly making high grades in school is very important. But does that get you the best retirement program? No, not necessarily. Not unless you've applied it. We've all known people with great talent. I'll read you a quote by Thomas Buxton. With ordinary talent and extraordinary perseverance, all things are attainable, and we should remember that persistent people begin with their success where others end in failures. Yes, there's many people that have talent. It's often been said that talent is a byword for failure if it's not applied properly, and that is so very true. We've known people with great talent that never achieved much. And why is that? What is it that kept them back from achieving the stars that they could have achieved? Well, many times we look at the challenges ahead and we're surpassed with certain fears of failure. And many times persistence is not a part of our vocabulary. We try something and we fail, and it becomes a hindering block. It becomes a fence, a warfare that we have to fight. Many times in history, we see that happen, and many times we've seen it in our own situation. Self-management is more important than talent, and this is very important. How you manage your time, how you manage yourself, and most important, how you manage your thoughts about the future, about yourself, your capabilities, and your worth that you have been endowed with. We ask, talent is not enough because we know that successful people are not only talented or may not be as talented as others, but yet they're successful far more than the people that have talent. What is it? What is it that holds people back? Well, many times when we look at challenges, we see roadblocks that may appear to be devastating. We see that many times people with talent may never get started on the job. They look at the most challenging features and it holds them back. And this is a negative. This is unfortunate. It's not necessary because self-management is stronger than talent. And what you do with your time is far more important than the talent you may have. Talent is ours but once. Waste it and it's gone forever. Invest it and it is passed, and it has not passed in vain. It's what Neil Strait once said. Self-management is marked by determination. How determined are you? With what you have a challenge or an opportunity or an idea to do. Are you going to let the setbacks change your mind about your destiny? Are you going to let discouraging points that were unanticipated change your mind? You shouldn't. If you have a goal in mind, if you have a destiny in mind, don't let those deter you from achieving those. Now, what should we do? Well, many times it's necessary to play motivational tapes, the Zig Ziglars, the Joel Weldons, many tapes to listen to them and get encouragement. How did they do it? What did they do? And what did they learn from it? This is important. It doesn't matter about your talents or abilities. It matters about your commitment. How committed are you toward what you want to do and accomplish? And this is shown throughout life. Scott Hamilton was a baby that stopped growing at 2 years old. Doctors had many different diagnoses for him, had many different things to say about it. And then by the time he was a teenager and an adult, he had grown, not as much as most of us, but he had grown so. And he was an Olympic star, an ice skater, earned gold medals because of his commitment, regardless of his disabilities, regardless of his holdbacks. and that would have kept many people and discouraged them from being successful. Many times it's important to read successful books. Stephen Covey, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. This is very important. Look at each one of those. Look at each one of those habits and go over them and over. Make them a part of your life. You are the best manager that you will ever meet. You have the ability to manage the outcome and income of your efforts. And this is very important. You need to prioritize your time that you spend. Do it with others. Ask them what is it that they're looking for in the product that you're showing them. Talk to them about their needs first before you show them the benefits of your product. This is very important. Ask them. I know when I was selling books, the biggest challenge, of course, was getting in the door to make the demonstration. And if they didn't want to let me in the door, I could demonstrate through the screen. That was the first challenge, the biggest challenge. And this is what you ought to always do. Handle the most difficult task first. This is different than sometimes we're exposed to. Many times people say, start with the easiest task, then you'll build up the encouragement, go ahead and start and climb higher with the most difficult task. That's not the order of success. So the biggest challenge was getting in the door. Well, once I got in the door, the second biggest challenge was showing them how the books would be helpful to their students, to their young people. After doing that, getting agreements, asking them questions about some of the difficulties that the students may have, learning from them as to what they had to say about the area that they could improve. And then the last thing, of course, was collecting the money to be paid for what I had shown them. But the money has to come last. The service has to come first. And many times when we take it on challenge, we think about the money first, and that's the wrong order. You need to reverse that. Think about what you have to deliver. Now, that's part of what we'd said previously in the prior podcast, that we all want to be happy. Well, the greatest source of happiness, as I have said in the past, and I'll repeat again, is adding value to the lives of other people. I did it through the book business. And also I did it when I started my commodity business. I was reducing the risk in their overall portfolio. But first of all, I had to get the interview. Don't let the fear keep you into a procrastination realm. Let fear be a motivator and challenge. Take on the challenge. Don't let it take on you. This is very, very important. How do we manage our fear? Well, first of all, you want to say, what is the toughest part of what I'm charged to do? What is the toughest part? What is the toughest part? The things that you need to do. The worst thing that can happen. List that. What is the worst thing that can happen? Do I want to take on the challenge? Do I want to take on the challenge? Ask yourself that. And that should be pinned also to what are the rewards? What are the benefits when I take on the challenge? Listening to people and their situations. It's very important to listen to people. Ask them, what is the biggest challenge? What is something that you need to see that you need to improve in? Asking them questions. Showing an interest in others has a way of attaching them to you. This is very important. So many people are interested in telling others about themselves, maybe all the merit badges, things they might have done, things they have to offer, and all this. But a great tie of another person's interest is learning to ask what it is that they have the biggest challenge with. What is it that they see that they can improve with? What are some of the problems they would like to see solved in their life, and teach them? It's to learn and to teach and to do is the characteristics that we all must adopt. Learn from others and then teach them a way of overriding their handicaps, and then absolutely do implementation. Implementation is extremely important because with all the knowledge that may be out there, if you don't implement the good parts about it, the results from having done it, then it's useless. It's useless knowledge. Now, the best ways to stop a bad habit is never to begin it. That's what J.C. Penney once said. Well, following the directions may seem obvious, but ask yourself these questions. Find an interest that you really love, that calls you to make your dream possibilities come true. See yourself achieving things that you dream about long before you take on the challenge and approach of getting involved. The second is learn everything you can about that interest. Ask others, the top people in the business. Read books, go to seminars, take notes, set goals, make them big but believable. Don't make them so big that you know they're far outlandish and you're never going to accomplish them. And make a plan, set a plan. Be honest and knowledgeable that there will be setbacks. There will be setbacks, as we have said. Give yourself time to limit and create a timeline of accomplishments. Don't put too close a time on it. Take one little challenge at a time and don't worry about the rest of the challenges. Never lose your excitement. Another asset is to be persistent. Be persistent on yourself. Do not be a disappointment to yourself. And be tenacious. Be tenacious. The sauce of success. You are a special individual. There's nobody like you on the planet. There's an opportunity for you to achieve levels that you never dreamed of. Pick up a copy of my book, The Winning Advantage. Tap into your richest resources. It'll be one of the best investments you've ever made in yourself. Thank you, and good morning, and top of the rest of the day to you. Amen. Use your talents, embrace your abilities, and pick up a copy of my book. Click the link on my website, thewinningadvantage.com, and purchase one of my books on Amazon. See you next week, Tuesday, 9 o'clock.